We don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
You are listening to Kayak Adventure Series. Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore. You want to be shallow. You want to go up the creek. You want to have a kayak that is sophisticated. Or a kayak that is simple. You get to choose your own adventure. Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
What's up? What's up, guys?
How's it going?
The Fiesta is here. I just had some Fiesta music playing on our, see?
Love it.
On our Instagram post. I think that was a fitting music to add, but how are you guys doing, man?
I'm doing good. I don't know how to say this. You guys look tired.
Yeah, we're whipped.
I am tired. I can't believe that I'm somehow going back. When that drive from Pennsylvania, I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're flying this time. So
yeah.
At least that's one reason why you're going back. I don't know if I mean, anyone who has ever driven to the Susky doesn't ever question, like, why am I driving all the way this way? You know what I mean? They know how great it is. But when you have to do it back to back in a, short span like that, it'd be tough. So I'm glad you're getting to fly, come back and run this one. And everyone else will drive in and experience what we got to experience at the Bassmaster Kayak Series, which was pretty amazing. Got my 7th place check up there behind me somewhere. But, man, that was a fun event, dude. Wasn't it, Jake? I mean, just fun event.
A little bit. I had a lot of fun on day 2. Day 1 wasn't so much fun because my plane got torpedoed, but that's kind of like, that's the risk. Like, I feel like I've run into that problem multiple times and like, I don't seem to learn my lesson. So maybe this time I'll finally be like, hey, just go fight it out with everyone else. Don't try to be different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it can work either way. I mean, I don't know if you got to trust the process. Trying to be different, I think, is the way to go.
I was shocked when I pulled up to this ramp and there was like 6 people and I was like, well, what? Because like I'm not going to give it up because like I think it's a potential spot for the future, but like it was a little bit sneaky. And when I got there, I was talking to everyone. I was like, did you guys pre-fish here? They're like, no, we're just YOLOing. And I'm like, great. So
yeah. Well, we'll see. But anyway, it was a painful event in a lot of ways. Fun event, no doubt about it, but painful. I was sick. I missed a whole day of pre-fishing, which really affected, I think the outcome for me. Motor ended up breaking because I had fishing line in it day 2, so I didn't get to get all my stuff. I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it, man, and it's just how you look at life, man. I'm like, on the one hand, I was sick, my motor broke, I ended up an inch out of winning, and I was 7th place. So that's good. On the other hand, I had 8, even despite the motor and everything else, I had 8 fish on at least that would have won the tournament. 8 times. I could have, and just one, a couple of them are after the boat. If they get in the boat, it's a difference in $11,000 and $1,750. So if you're not frustrated, or at least, the competitor in you isn't like ticked off, it's kind of like your football players you root for, basketball, whatever. When they interview them after the game and it was a close game and they lost it, you don't want them to be like, whatever, no big deal. I'm just going to go back to my mansion. Who cares? Like, you want them to care, dude. And I'm ticked off at myself and the fish, no one else but me. What happened, that I just couldn't get one more of those fish in to win it. People have asked me, like, because now I have an answer to this question. People have asked me, guys, well, you won AOI for a couple AOIs. You've won the championship for Bassmaster. What in the world is left for you to do in kayak fishing in your tournaments that I fish? And now I have an answer. It's win the Susquehanna River that I've been so close to so many times and really felt like I should have won this one. But Ewing, he said it best on stage. He kind of was like, wow, I can't believe I jumped from 12th past all those hammers and actually won without really, I don't know what he had on the final day, but it's not like he blew it out. Like, he crushed it like some incredible number. I mean,
I think he just stayed. He just had like similar.
Yeah. Right. And so we didn't even need that much. I mean, Russ needed 89 inches to win. That's it. Like, and for him on that river, but his motor broke too. I mean, a lot of things fell into Ewing's favor in some ways like that, but he obviously deserves to win. He landed the fish, and congrats to him. But it was by the way, congrats to a lot of the guys at our house too. I mean, Steve Baker was a quarter inch above me and ended up in 5th. So I lost a tiebreaker to Steven Sisto, and Christine, her motor broke, but she was able to have a spare on and throw it on and I think make it work for most of the day and got second. So she had a good event. I don't even remember who was third, but who else cast a check? Josh Strenko in our house, Smalley Talk podcast, Ashigan Strenko, last year's champ. He ended up
even John did really well.
Well, there he is. He's in the chat even. Strenko, what were you? 12th? I think you were 12th. So, I mean, yeah, John Dalton had a good event. Jordan, who stayed with us, Lovejoy, he was up there, had a great event. We had a
15th.
Good house, a good guys. Brian Reed in the house here. What's up,
the
Brian?
Ned Rigger himself.
Yeah, the Ned Rigger himself. So, Merlin lost a giant Saturday, but overall couldn't find the size I needed. Didn't keep moving around like I told myself to. So, well, shout out, guys. If you're in the comments right now, let us know if you're coming to the Fiesta on the Susky. If you want revenge on the Susky, I know Bailey Egbert from the Serious Angler, he's going to come to the Towanda event for the Kayak Adventure Series because he wants revenge. He's another one. He had 94-something inches on day one. And just so you know, he actually had more than 45 on day two. I talked to him. He just didn't upload his fish. He was so frustrated. He didn't care. Because the Bailey, it's like either I'm, cashing a check or winning, or I don't even care. Like he's already qualified for the championship because he got third place early in the year. But he's another one that there's just so many. Jeffrey Rabbit at 98 on day one, local hammer. We just sort of let Ewing, gave him a chance to do what he did, and he took the crack in the door and did it. So anyway,
it's like 35 anglers had 90 inches on day one. That's insane.
That's a Susky, man. It's a Susky. Well, it'll be interesting to see what our event is like, up there. I know there's big
much
fish
less
up there.
pressured area too. So
yeah, it's less pressured but not. It's weird because that section up here's what's weird. The section of the North Branch doesn't have all those shoals and rapids like the section down there does. So the section down in Harrisburg and north of there is like, if there's a boat traffic, it's a jet boat. That's basically it. But in our section, what's weird, there's a lot of muskie up there. If there's pools, there's like riffles and wave trains and narrow, tight sections into the next big pool. Even boats with props go up there. There's actually more boat traffic up there, but like normal boats. But then again, there's not as much population up there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really no big cities anywhere nearby. As you know, you're flying into Harrisburg 2 hours away, and Binghamton, I think is what it's called. Binghamton. That's, Tawanda's not that big. So you got locals that fish it, but I think a lot of them are fishing for other fish / just fish their one little pool, with their boat. They don't really, that whole section, and it doesn't get it.
Yeah,
pressure,
I mean,
the
section right there around Towanda looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It's going to be good. So what's up, Andrea White? What's up, Aaron Proper? Ryan Van Tyne. Good to be back live with you guys. Good to be back live. Ryan, appreciate you offering for Jake, by the way, on that ride. We'll see. We'll get back with you on that. He may or may not even need it, so we'll find out. But appreciate all your help, and Keystone Kayak Bass Series that will be joining us. Keystone Bass Kayak Series. I think I said that right. But yes, between Slay Nation and the Keystone and Kayak Anglers of Eastern PA, we've got a really fun event with all those guys joining in, and we're hoping we can get up over 100. This is the Susky, so I don't see why we can't pull that off. But let me see if I have a couple news and notes to mention. There we go. Let's just pull in the news and notes presented by Omnia Fishing. I just had a good call with those guys yesterday. Got some really cool stuff in the works. So if you haven't downloaded that Premium Pro app, it is well worth it. Here's what I did update a couple things. and we might pull in the website in a little bit, but we updated the launch time and lines end times to reflect a little bit more accurately now that we've got the, more accurate sunrise, sunset time. And we're starting to dial in what we're going to do with the Kayak Adventure Series. But I updated it to launching is at 5:15 and first cast is at 5:45 because sunrise is at like 6:10. So look at that, Scotty fishing his first time on the Susquehanna. That is going to be an experience.
Wait, you have the same last name as me? Holy moly!
Is it spelled the same way?
It's spelled different.
It's spelled different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, with one.
That's right. So yeah, scroll down there. Let's see if we can't see on the detailed itinerary. Whenever we get to that part of the, it gives the hourly updates. There we go. So I bolded it in red. Anything that got tweaked. We actually we tweaked the festival. We've moved all our festivals to 5 to 7, like opening ceremony festival. Like the opening ceremony is 5 to 7. So you got to be off the water at 5. That's your time to be off. And then we'll start at 5 to 7. It used to be 4 o'clock. So it was a little bit lengthy. We didn't need 3 hours to check everyone in, and people were, exhausted from pre-fishing anyway. So, and of course, once the festival's over, technically, I'm talking officially, like it ends at 7. We all still hang out, go out to eat and go have fun. It's not like, what are we doing the next day? Just waking up and doing the Bass U brunch at 10 a.m. Right. So we're still going to go hang out, but that's just the official times. So, but yeah, you're right on the lines in there. I think you saw it was 5:15 down there on Saturday, just Saturday's lines in 5:15. Time on the water, 5:15. 5:45.
Yeah, launch at 5:15. Yeah, lines launch in 5:45. Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this. Is it more important to keep it a consistent 30 minutes every time, 30 minutes of travel time for every event, and then a lines in time, or during these summer events, we keep stretching it out longer? Whenever we always want to keep our lines out at 3 p.m. to keep it consistent there so that no one's ever confused on the lines out time. Plus it keeps our closing ceremony festival at the same time and on schedule. But we do want to give you guys more time to fish when there's more daylight, right? So let me ask you this, in the future, not for this event, would it make more sense, and you guys can chat in the comments, to say, okay, why don't we just make lines in if 30 minutes before sunrise, and lines in and launch at the same time? So in other words, it'd be like 5:45 would be launch and
like what we did.
Yeah, Bassmaster did that. So it gives them a longer day. I don't know.
I didn't hate. So I was on my day one spot, like I found that to be really annoying because I couldn't get to where I wanted to. Like I just spent like the first 20 minutes not fishing. So it's like, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like if you're, fishing the float and you just want to start right away, I could see it being really like beneficial to have launch and lines in at the same time on the river. So I don't know, like.
But on a lake, it's like different. We have
on a lake.
You're always going to need 30 minutes. Yeah, you're always going to need some time. So maybe if we do a river only event like this again, because there's no lakes and bounds, that we can do launch time and lines in at the same time. But either way, doesn't really matter. I just didn't know if you're getting off the water at 7 p.m. It takes you a while to get back, get things in order for the next day. Is 5:15 launch too early just for people not even just get a chance to sleep? Because you know what I mean? You're going to wake up if you got a 45-minute drive and you want to be there 30 minutes before your launch time. That's what it's at, 4:45. So now on your 45-minute drive, so now you're leaving at 4. So you're waking up at 3:30. Like, is it just too much? You know what I'm saying? Like for our series and whatnot. But it'll be an off-season discussion for sure. Anybody in the comments? Sam Cox says he really likes the lines in and launch at the same time. So there's a sample size of 1, but that's his vote. But anyway, it's interesting to see how this series will evolve. I mean, we're kind of, it's the first year, and I'm not looking to like change a bunch of stuff where everyone's loving the format. So I'm not going to change a bunch, but it'll be fun to see the little things we can do to help. Again, back to our original rule, why we make any rules for the series. If it doesn't help the anglers have more fun, catch more fish, and make their life more comfortable, we don't make the rule. Or we do make the rule to help any of those 3 things happen. So, yeah. But yeah, launching with no light, Merlin's right. He says launching with no light at the Susky was not great. Easy to run into things. Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and Ryan agrees. For rivers, yeah, lakes, no. So
I was really, when they first had the lines in thing on there, I was very nervous because a lot of those rivers are tough to navigate before, like, I don't know, like 6:30, let's just say. Because you're like, a lot of the routes are visual, you know, so like if you can't see them, it's tough to kind of get around some of those obstacles. And like, I know I plowed into a rock at like full speed at like 5:45 in the morning, and it wasn't pretty. So
right. No, it's not fun when that happens for sure, especially if you got a motor and you could break stuff. So, but then again, if you don't have a motor, you just get stuck and you put yourself off and you just keep going along, you know. So there you go. That's a win, I guess, for the non-motor guys out there in the KAS who, of course, a lot of people don't use motors. So there you go. All right, well, let's get into, let me see any other. We are dragging, man. We're dragging from like everything from Ozarkana to ICAST to like this event, Bassmaster on the Susky.
I'm actually like looking at the Google Maps right now of the event, trying to like.
Yeah, I was actually going to pull that up. I was going to pull that up for us. The only thing I want to remind you guys on the news and notes here was just the RVR, Bonafide RVR. They're our, kayak manufacturer for this event. And we're going to raffle that sucker off to raise money for pediatric cancer. Be ready for that. Hans is going to be up there. You know, he designed it. He designed the new, what's it called? XTR 130.
XTR 130.
Yep, the new boat. And I talked to him, and he wasn't going to bring that one. And I said, dude, you should bring it. Like, show it off. I mean, that's like, even though this isn't an event to like maybe use it. But then again, I told him, I said, actually, these waters here are more likely for that boat to be used than down in Harrisburg, even though the river's bigger there. But because of what I just said, there's deeper pools here. It's like a narrow wave, skinny kind of swifter, and then pool. Same thing, pool. So it's actually probably fits better up here on the Susquehanna than down there. So anyway, he's got to bring it just so you guys can see it and you guys in person and show it off. If nothing else, if he doesn't use it, I'm not sure if he's fishing the event or fishing. I think he might just fish the micro bag or maybe fish out of bounds. Either way, thanks to Hans and Bonafide for donating that RVR for us to raffle off for pediatric cancer. That is huge, and that helps make this series go. Yeah. And the last thing I want to mention is the Bass U Brunch. Let's go pull up the website again if you got it, Billy, or I can do it. If you can, you can scroll to where the Bass U Brunch, all the event details are. Or I don't know who had that up. It was Jake or Billy, but the Bass U Brunch is ready to roll. We're going to be at the theater again. So this is cool. Scroll down to those event details and you'll see the logo for the brunch and there it is. So you guys can click on that to sign up for that. John O said he would do a seminar. He actually lives on the North Branch. So he's fished the North Branch all of his life. John Toast Oast, if you know him, follow him on, what's his YouTube? Can't remember. Do you guys remember what his YouTube is? But you can follow him, on his YouTube. Go find him. And he gives updates all the time on the water. Now he's further downstream around like Bloomsburg or whatever, further downward, but he's on the North Branch and knows it, real well and knows how those fish feed there. Cause it's the same way all the way down to the confluence of the West Branch. It's similar. It's like I said, it's like more, not shoals and rapids as much as pools. And
yeah, I mean,
he knows
I fished that West Branch when we were there, which I think is going to fish a lot like this one. And it was fun. Like I had a lot of fun fishing that style. Like it's much different, but I think people will find that the quality of fish is still there. So
yeah, absolutely. So he'll do one for us, and then I believe Jigs and Bigs they're going to be there. I believe they're going to be there in time for that brunch that morning. I'll have to confirm that, but either way, I'll do a talk, and I think Jeff and if Jigs and Bigs is there, we're going to do, and it shows it on there, a podcast live. Like, so we'll do it live and just round table, all kinds of stuff about, whatever you guys want, like whoever's at the brunch, like questions about smallmouth, bass fishing and, on the rivers and anything we can impart to you your last minute before you get on the water and help you guys out. We will do it right there. That's why you come. We're going to have breakfast served. We actually going to have some, I forget who they're going to cater. My tourism partner there, Robin, said that she's got a cool place that's going to cater some food for us, and that's going to be awesome. It's going to be more brunch type food. There might even be some like wraps and stuff that you guys can just take with you for the road and eat on the water. So that'll be nice. The Basque brunch will be awesome. And it's a suggested $30 as Billy just pulled it up and showed us. But you guys can change that. If you can't give $30 to support those events, just donate whatever, change the amount to $1, $5, $10, whatever you got. But $30 is suggested just to help out with rental fees and things like that, and bring in some of our guest speakers in, putting them up for a night for lodging or whatever. So,
or $50 or $60.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
change it to whatever you want.
People have given up to $50. There was a few at Jolly Palooza and another stop that did that.
Yeah,
so
I thought we had 100. Someone gave 100.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe someone did.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, maybe they did. I don't know. But either way, I'll have to go back and look, and appreciate that, because that just shows us that they really care. And the information we're giving at these brunches is valuable enough where they were like, that was worth way more than just some breakfast. You know what I mean? And hearing someone talk. So
it was surprising to me how many people messaged me saying like, hey, I really liked that like 10 seconds of seminar you did on the GoPro. Can you explain it to me? So yeah, I was thinking like maybe I need to make a YouTube video on that, since we didn't really get a chance to really talk about it in depth. But
for sure. And fishhacker.com. That's right. That's his site, fishhacker.com. So, but I might share my screen, guys, and let's pull in the water real quick. You guys want to look at the water?
Yeah, I've been looking at it. I found some sneaky stuff. I'm like, oh, this looks fun.
Let me see if I can find. Is this it? No, that's not all right. Well, I cannot. Let me stop sharing that one. I'm going to try to pull in the right one. I have a map up here.
Well, while he looks at that, I think one interesting thing about this event is like, you know, it being a river event, a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, this is going to be, you know, just the same old thing, river event, go here, do this. But I think that this could be an event where bigger kayaks definitely can find spots where they feel really comfortable in and use like things like electronics, live scopes, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to be able to target some of those deeper areas that you probably wouldn't target on other sections of the river. And there's plenty of like, you know, islands and stuff at different parts of this river. But I think it'll be unique in the sense that all styles of fishing have a chance on this one. Like, I don't think like, if you want to bring your bigger kayak with live scope, I think there's definitely areas where it'll come into play. So
no doubt. Why is it not showing? Here we go.
Oh, I guess but before you do that, this is the main event. So sponsored by GoPro, but also when you were talking about the donating money for the Basque brunch, I wanted to remind everyone that we have the little logo in the corner there. This podcast is sponsored by Raccoon Creek. So, you know, we couldn't do all this without all the sponsors and all the people to help out. So this live stream is brought to you by Raccoon Creek. Wanted to remind everyone of that.
That is right. That is right, man. We haven't done a live in a couple times, a couple weeks, I guess. But yes, that was exciting. Announcing that last week was cool. We had Jonathan on the pre-recorded one. Appreciate Dustin Hoy and all the folks. We're going to see them at Fiesta on the Susky. So,
oh yeah,
can't wait to see all those folks there. A lot of Ohio guys. It's going to be a battle between a lot of these bordering states here to see if Pennsylvania guys can hold home court and take it. But anyway, yeah, let's look at this, guys. All right, here we go. The Chemung River's the upstream launch boundaries right here at the boat launch right there. So, I mean, the Chemung is still like a good size. It's insane how big this Susquehanna River is. You know what I mean? Like the tributary is way up north. I mean, because look, when I zoom out, look how far north we are compared to where, you know, we just were down here, Lewisburg, you know. I mean, it weaves its way around, you know, by Scranton and Wilkes-Barre.
Because it's like three big fingers and it doesn't just go straight down. It like literally like goes up into New York and then comes back down, and then it goes into the So anyway, it's just unreal. And so big fish could be, I mean, a river that's this size, you know, you could obviously still go upstream. Don't forget, you can go upstream from, you know, from any of the launch boundaries. So you could launch right there and go upstream into any of this stuff, you know, that you want.
far as you want to feel like making it, feel like going. As long as you just launch there in the morning, you're good. So the Chemong looks, if you're into, it's going to be interesting, I think, guys. Does this get one on the Chemong? Does it get one on the, when the North Branch connects like above the Chemong confluence, right? So it's a similar size as the Chemong, or maybe a little bit bigger. Or does it get one in a creek? I think there's some big tributaries in this one. And
there's some interesting creeks, especially on like the east side of the main part of the river. I think there's one called like I want to say Wailing Young or something. It's down there.
Wailusing,
something, some weird funky name. But
there's definitely some good sized creeks.
And it looks like a small little river. Like it's not like, I mean, I don't know how deep it is, but it looks like it could have potential. So
yeah,
a lot of little cool sneaky things besides the main river.
For sure. Because I mean, you can see the Chemong is, I mean, it's not quite as big as the Susquehanna when they join, but it puts in 1/3 of the amount of water, right? Or that river makes it that much bigger. So is someone going to win it up here? And you can see there's another creek right here. There's lots of big creeks. So I'm not going to zoom in and show all these creeks, because someone might be, who knows, they might be taking that for strategy. I don't know, like just blow up too many of them or whatever. You guys can find them. But to your point, Jake, about these creeks, I think this could get potentially has better chance here. And I don't know this to be true, because I've only fished this one at one time, but I know that the size of the fish here are big. I don't think it's like quite as big as down around Harrisburg. You know what I'm saying? Like the average size. I think if the tournament, let's say I had 95 inches one day, Jeffrey Rabbit and Russ had 98 leading on day one. I think that 95 inches is like you're winning total for our event, somewhere in there at this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because it's just 5 fish.
Right. It's just 5 fish the whole thing, and you got a day and a half to do it. So I think it could be even low 90s.
More than a day and a half.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely more than a day and a half, because you got a long 9.5 hour day. But I guess my point is, because of that, I mean, and there's some bigger tributaries on these, creeks and tributaries that could be in play. I think it could work, especially because you can launch right from those bridges at these tributaries and stuff like that. Things you can't necessarily do in Bassmaster or Hobie or anything else like that. So those, hey, creeks could play, because all you might need to do is sneak in and get a nice, 17 3/4 or 18.5 out of one and move to another spot, So
yeah, because I mean, like a lot of those holes are going to have the big fish, right? And I say big, like, like what you said, like a 17, 18, something like that. Like you're going to find like one of those every hole, and you might have to drag, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile to get to each hole in these tributaries. But I mean, there's always going to be resident fish in those creeks and I guess small rivers and tributaries. So
and if the top end fish don't get as big in the main river here, then maybe those creeks play. I don't know, man. I don't have a clue. But this is your northern upstream launch boundary, guys, on the North Branch of the Susquehanna over by like Binghamton. And you can see there's clearly like a dam right here. That's legal to go portage above and around it. Just do it all legally, and you're good. I'm sure there's a designated spot or side to do that if you were to go upstream. But even, there's even one here, another tributary right there actually that comes in, a couple more dams. There's actually
that area looks sick, honestly. Like
there's another dam here. So you'll downstream of our launch boundary. So just be safe, portaging those, of course. But yeah, the problem is with this place, you zoom into everything and it all looks, it just all looks so good. I mean, you
that
can
is funny, because I heard so many people say, like, on the main stem down there in that tournament we just fished, it's like everything looks the same, so just pick something that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. Like what it does at the beginning when you first get there, once you kind of like fish it long enough, you really do start seeing like the matrix, reading it like, oh, this is different, because of this.
Right.
There's a lot of, but at the beginning, and there's fish in every boat ramp, and I probably down or up here in Towanda too, but every boat ramp down there where we fished, I promise you I could have gone there and I could find the pattern and catch 18+ inch fish out of every boat ramp. They're in every one.
I mean, it's absolutely true. Like
everyone.
I had never fished the stretch that I fished on day 2, and I just was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this. Like I had fished like on the other side, but because Josh and Jordan were in there, I was like, well, I'm not gonna bother them. They actually had a good day 1, so I just was like, gonna fish new water. And guess what? 17s, 18s, like they were in there. Like, you know, I caught a 19. So
yeah,
that's the cool thing about the Susquehanna. It's like a freaking anomaly. Like I don't understand it. It's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. It really is wild. I mean, when I went and pre-fished here, I caught so many good like fish, and I caught solid ones, and then I caught a bunch of I was microbagging. It was so much fun. You could like sight them. And here's the downstream launch boundary, which I may have X'd out, but it's right here. It's the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission launch here in Tunkhannock. So obviously, you know, there's a tributary right there.
There's a lot of that one too.
There's a lot of tributaries in this, and then downstream you could take out downstream if you wanted to somewhere. But man, it's a lot of water, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see how this one gets won. But in Towanda, again, this is the Eastside Riverfront Park where we'll have our opening and closing ceremonies. So it's right across the street. The theater is literally right here. This building right here. See, Keystone Theater. So it's actually funny. People could paddle straight across, and then if they don't want to like get in their cars and drive around, you could just paddle across the river after the festival. And we actually are going to have police or people watching. If you really want to do that, you could seriously just paddle and beach your kayak over there, tie it up. And after it's over, you could go back across or paddle yourself up to the Flying Taco, where our after party will be, where we'll have the that whole rooftop area right there. There's actually a huge parking deck that was built here. This is like this whole parking lot here doesn't even, the one behind it here doesn't even exist. It's a giant like parking deck. And anyway, that's a really cool spot overlooking the river. We're going to celebrate there. And Jigs and Bigs, Bobby Roast Beef is going to do fishy trivia. We're gonna have trivia there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So don't want to miss out on that. But yeah, the Bass U brunch, of course, back here on Friday at the theater right there. So 10 o'clock, we'll see you there. Breakfast will be served. And seminars. And they have a smaller theater. That's why we're going there, guys. There's a smaller theater.
The last one we had was ginormous. So it'll be nice to be closer to the screen.
Yeah, this theater is still big, but I'm saying like there's a second theater in the theater for the Bass U brunch. So we'll be in like 50 people. So we'll be able to plug our computer, up to, we'll still have a giant screen if we want to show videos and stuff like that on it, we can. But I mean, the theater itself, to your point, is definitely still smaller than the Rogers was. So probably holds a few hundred. But
the Rogers was like, I think 1,000 was their max, which is crazy. So
yeah. Hey, another update. I guess I can stop sharing that screen unless anybody's got questions or comments that they want us to like do. But yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen, I guess. I was gonna say that if anyone needs a place to stay, there's a couple options. You got like the camp to camp. Message us privately. We got a spot that a landowner has offered up to you guys basically for free. I mean, he'll take donations, but he's not doing it for money, just doing it because he wants to help. So I know some folks already have heard about it and they're starting to spread the word about it. So it's going to be a big spot and there's power there as well. But it's right on the river. There's river access there for all your pre-fishing needs. You could put in, take out there, and there's a big field. There's trees. You guys would love it. So if you want to camp and still haven't found a place, let me know. And I'll send you the address to it and where it is, and you'll be all set. And there's also Endless Mountain Outfitters just downstream as well. And they've offered up their area. They've got a bathrooms they can leave open, I believe they said when we had them on. So water hookups, obviously there's power there too. So if you want to fish a little further downstream, Endless Mountain Outfitters is a good place to camp, and they're offering it as well. So let's see. Is the Juniata in play? Oh, we're way upstream from the Juniata. Way upstream on the North Branch. So we are nowhere close to there. We're trying to explore and adventure new places. That's what the Kayak Adventure Series is all about, bronzeback bass. And we want to go not to the same old. There's too much water in this country, man.
Don't talk to me about the Juniata, man.
Yeah. It brings up, it's a sore subject for Jake. But
dude, it's like the white whale, man. Like
Yeah, it is. It's your white whale for sure. But yeah, that's the premise. You look at where we're going next year, everywhere. It's nowhere you've ever been before. No one we've ever done, because there's great fishing in places that we're not just constantly marketed to and sold that this is where you got to go, where you got to be. And that's because, Bassmaster Elite Series and Major League Fishing needs a lot of money in order to go to an area to hold an event. But we do not. We don't have a lot of overhead like they do. So we're just going to go where the best fish, the coolest fishing is, the best stuff, man. Explore and adventure. So he says he had 90 there on Sunday. So nice work. They're in there. They were fishing every section, every ramp of every eligible water in that Bassmaster tournament. To win it. There was fish at every ramp. You just had to know the pattern they were on in that section. Was it rapids, ledges? Was it flats? Was it grassy islands? Was it wood? Was it, eelgrass? You just had to figure out in that section where they were. And you could have won the whole thing. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully you can make it up, Bronzeback, Bassin. Hopefully you can make it up to Wander for this one. This is going to be fun. Jacob's asking about next year's schedule, and hey man, I actually meant to, and I've been meaning to do this every event. We've been announcing new, events for next year. Right. And so far we've announced, the first one, Ocalapalooza, like February 20th, 21st, somewhere weekend, of February. So weekend after President's Day, if that helps. Ocalapalooza, and then we go to the Paris Reel Fest in Paris, Texas, to fish the new Lake Boat Arc that just opened. That's already got giants in it. It's like a 16,000 acre lake in Texas that they stocked with Share Lunker offspring from this giant 14-pound bass. So like every fish in there is stocked from that fish, or was a big one they already put in there, like big ones that they already put in there. Then we go to the next stop is not announced yet. That one's not announced yet, but then we announced that one was announced yet. That was the Virginia. It's called the South Boston, Virginia Bassathon. So South Boston Bassathon in South Boston, VA, which has North Carolina water and Virginia water in bounds. That one's going to be fun. And that was on, and we'll put all these up. We need actually, Jake, remind me, we need to get all these on social. That way they're at least on our social media so people can look through them. We'll do a swipe through of all the events we've announced to this point, I guess. And then that was in May, like May 2nd and 3rd, the first weekend of May when we did Chollipalooza this year, but that's going to be the South Boston Bassathon. And then we announced the Clinton, Iowa. We're having one in Clinton, Iowa, which is on the border of Illinois and Iowa. It's on the Mississippi River.
That Illinois one.
Yeah.
Finally,
yeah.
a tournament in Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, you got all that water. It's right on the border.
I won't have to buy a fishing license, man.
There you go. Save you some money. But that one's going to be on a showboat theater. We're actually on a showboat on the Mississippi River. So it's a dry dock, showboat. It's still in the river. It's just secured or whatever. And it's called, what are we calling that one? The Riverboat Revival. RRREEL. So little play on words there, but Riverboat Revival. And then actually before that one, technically that one's in like August, but before that in July, the weekend before ICAST again, right there in St. Cloud, Minnesota, above Minneapolis, we've got the Mississippi River, upper Mississippi River. So that's going to be, what is that one called? The Smalley Showdown or something in the upper Mississippi. So that one's going to be all smallmouth, just giants. It's going to blow everyone away. Like 95 inches probably won't even, you're probably gonna need 100 inches to win that one for sure. It's better than the Susky, according to everyone who's ever been there. Like it's hands down the best 1A smallmouth fishery there is, but I don't know if they're comparing it with bass boat smallmouth fisheries like St. Lawrence or something, but it's 1A according to everyone I've talked to. It's the most ridiculous place you've ever been in your life, and it's worth going and making that trip to get up to Minnesota. So,
well, I know I'm excited for that one because
a
chance to catch a 21-inch smallmouth pretty regularly.
They
say no to that,
Exactly. It's worth it. So yeah, the Northeast. Man, we'll come up there. We got a few more events to announce. So we got some announcements coming that'll be closer in that direction for sure. And then honestly, that one in Virginia is not, for our series, because Jacob's asking if we're coming to the Northeast again, Kayak Adventure Series having 6, maybe 7 events a year. you only need to do 2, and then the finale for AOI. That's not, most people will do 2, and if they're kind of in the hunt, maybe, hey, let's go to the finale. You probably have 1 or 2 that aren't like too far away, you know what I mean, to get to, and then there might be one that you got to drive a little bit to, but we didn't want to make it more events for the AOI for, we just want to make it 2, and then you choose to go to the finale and see if you can get that final score and take home the AOI or team of the year or not. But so yeah, that's why that Virginia is at least straight south, of you guys in the Northeast, and then we'll have another one that's in that region. So we'll see. May or may not even be the finale. Who knows? We got a couple still to announce, so we'll see. Which could be an advantage. Anywhere that you have the finale in your region too, like Kentucky this year, it's like, man, you should be fishing these other ones before that one, because you kind of have a little bit of a, and there's no.
Yeah, we're trying to convince John to come up to Susky because he won the last event. So like, hey man, fly on out. We'll get your kayak delivered. We know some people driving out there, and
yeah, I mean. I'm not sure if Russ is going to be able to make it. He was second place, so he has a good score. Aaron Griffith that hasn't fished another one since Shoalipalooza. I mean, the AOI is up for the taking. I mean, it really is. Like, people don't realize like how up for grabs this is, because we don't triple or double or whatever the points for the finale. It's the same. It's 100 points if you win. You know what I mean? And then you get the percentage of whatever you get, based on the winner score, you get that percentage. So if you get 87 inches, they had 100, you get 87 points. So you get the idea. Like, you're not, some series put more of an emphasis on that finale. I feel like that's kind of too much of an advantage that the anglers who live in the area already have. So why would we give them more of an advantage? And it should be just even. They should all be even. So we just have 100 points. So it's up for the taking for sure. This AOI, here's a hot take, Jake. Someone fishing this PA event that has not even fished any other KAS events. I will predict that somebody will finish top 3 in AOI potentially. With this event being the first event, they do good and they say, you know what? That's a long drive out to Wisconsin, but maybe they were in Ohio, or maybe they were in Indiana, or maybe they came from even Western PA. And they're like, you know what? That Wisconsin trip, yeah, it's a little bit long, but that's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for. It's what I live for. Fishing cool, amazing places that, we found. Like, we're picking the best places out there for you guys to catch, big fish. So they're going to say, I'm going to go to Wisconsin and go to the Wisconsin River Fest. Cause again, it's probably up their alley. They just got done catching smallmouth on the Susky. They know how to catch smallmouth. They know how to do rivers. And even though there's lakes and bounds in that one, a couple different lake sections, Lake Wisconsin, and, for any lake anglers as well, but there's plenty of river smallmouth in that event, and giants, 7-pounders. So people are telling me.
They showed them to us. Drew and I went there and they showed us pictures, and I was like, well, where was this caught? He's like, oh, just right there. And it's like, you look out the window and it's like,
yeah, they're there.
I'm just like, wow.
Christine and all the others who, when we announced this event, showed us pictures of their giants too on the official preview podcast. So they're there. So I'm saying my prediction is somebody will either win AOI or top 3 at least. That right now, this is their first event they're about to fish for the KAS, because they're going to fish. They end up fishing the Susky event. They fish the Wisconsin River Fest, and then the Broodstock in Bowling Green for the finale, our Broodstock location this year, and do good at all of them. Which, if you think about it, the finale is very centralized to everybody. That's why we did it that way. So, and we'll see what happens there. But I'm excited, man. It's going to be a fun event. We're going to have some food trucks for you guys out there at the park. We're going to have some games. I got a toddler bounce house I'll be bringing for sure. We'll maybe even have another one. It's going to be a good one. I believe we'll see if this still works in a schedule. The director of state or the Pennsylvania director of recreation will be there as well. So that'll be pretty cool. And of course, we'll announce, getting back to the 2025 schedule, we'll announce probably 2 more, the last 2 locations. I believe we only have 2 more to announce for next year. So we'll announce those last 2, and then the whole schedule will be revealed. So it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah.
Yep. So anything else
I
you
know
got?
that a couple of the Ozarkana finishers are going to be going to both Wisconsin and Broodstock. So it'll be interesting. We'll see some shuffling in the AOI. Like, what it looks like right now is completely different than what it's going to look like when we actually get to that final event. So
yeah,
I think right now who's leading is
just pull it up, right?
Is Lance.
You guys see it on the screen?
Yep. So like well, that's team.
That's team. Yeah. Let's go back to. Well, my screen is zoomed in a lot. There we go. Go to.
There you go. You're good.
Angler of the year. Oh, it's on here. There we go. That's it.
Yeah. So.
All right. Lance. Yeah, Lance is in the lead. Okay, he's fished 2. So Steve's already culling. He's got 3, so he culled out a bad finish. So.
And he just did really well at Susky, so this could be a big event for Steve.
He's one to watch out for sure. I mean, we've got. If you scroll down, what's crazy is there's people just right here on the. Look at how close these people are on the heels of these. Some of these AOI scores, like my father-in-law Ramon, he's in 14th place, but he's got 2 points more than Aaron and Jonathan and Tyler and Chad and. All these guys. So anybody down here with one event that's has a score in the, look how many people, again, it's because we do that format where whatever your score is compared to the winner score, divided by your percentage of theirs is your total. So anybody that's in like 80 plus points already after one event has a good shot, to.
All it takes for like Jonathan, he won the one event. Let's say he comes up here and he gets like a good solid 3rd or 4th place finish, that's instantly going to push him up to like, in that 1, 2, 3 area. So
yeah. Watch out for Luke and Sam. They're, on the team side, they're doing good. They're Ryan Parker. Sitting there, he's been devoted to this series. He's right behind Lance. So you got to watch out for him for sure. I think he's coming. So he'll be at this event. He could move up some more points potentially, what is he going to need? So now what does it take for someone to cull? Let's see. So he has, right now it's only showing those 2. So 84 and 100. So he would need to get higher than 84 to make up some ground. So he needs to get like at 86. So whatever the winner is of this event, he needs to get 86% of that person's length. You see what I'm saying? And then he will take over Lance, who I don't believe is coming to this one.
Yeah, that's a long drive from Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll see. Whoops. Oh, all right. Took me to the recap from the last one, but you guys should definitely go and read that. That was a good one.
It's crazy that that was almost a month ago come this next event. It seems like we're just flying through the season. So
yeah, it does. So we got some people out there. Yeah, Ronald's making his plans for South Boston. That one is going to be fun. It's a lot of interest is already being talked about and drummed up on that one. There's just a lot of good kayak clubs in the Virginia and Carolinas. You know what I mean? If you're anywhere in Georgia or, Tennessee, Central, East Tennessee, Alabama, it's not that far. If you're in the Northeast, like Bronsback Basson was saying, you can just drive down a little ways, you're Maryland, anywhere up there, north of there. It's like Pennsylvania. It's actually not that far to go down, and West Virginia. That's going to be a good one. So
that's an interesting area. It's very diverse.
Yeah, for sure. Next week, guys, will be the official, we don't really call it a rules live stream, but it's a need to know live stream. And we're going to try just to give only the concise information. All the rules are on the site. That's what everyone is responsible for. But anything, we will definitely go over again those lines and times. So we changed them, but obviously we changed them a couple weeks out. So I don't think anyone's got on their alarm clock on their phone, whatever it said before we just tweaked it a little bit. But we'll go over that stuff next week. We'll go over anything you need to know, like where you need to park, what you need to do for any of the stuff, just things you might need to know. If you need anything in the meantime, let us know, message us, email us, chasethewild@kayakadventureseries.com. You could use that general catch-all email. We'll get back to you. And, let's blow this thing out. Let's make it fun. Let's have a good joint event with those guys from Kayak Anglers of Eastern PA and the Keystone Bass kayak guys and Slay Nation. I think it's going to be, this could be our biggest one yet. We could definitely have a payout there of over $5,000 for the winner. And then possibly, microbag winner took home $500 at Glenda last event. So if we have a lot of people in the microbag again, get 20 again, that winner take all event, could be lucrative. And then, of course, the team division, the 2-man team division. If someone wins the team and the individual, you could walk away with $6 or $7 grand out of this event. So that's just going to be a big one.
There was definitely some people at Ozarkana that were like frustrated, I think, because they didn't enter every event. And I know that it's tough to enter every event because we had a joint event with Moyak, but the 2 guys that won a team event, they absolutely destroyed, but they only entered the team event and they really cost themselves a giant payday. So
yeah, that's a good point. Fish those joint events too. From obviously that's what they're there for. If you want to double, triple dip.
I mean, at the Bass event last weekend, a lot of people fished the one. So they did like 2 1-days, and people, some of those guys had some good paydays. So
it's true. Bronzeback Bassin says, I need a place to stay. You looking to camp, or you need like what kind of place you looking to stay? Earlier in the podcast, we talked about, if you message us, we have a campground. It's a guy's property, big field, giant, mowed field that's right on the river with access. Yeah. Hit us up. We'll give you the address. Hit us up, dude. He's just looking to camp. You can donate some money to him if you want, but I suggest doing it, but he's not asking for anything. He just wants to help us out with the event. Some of the other campgrounds that we were going to book up and rent out kind of fell through because some oil workers came in and rented all the cabins and all the everything. So we decided not to use that campground. So this guy was helping us out. He's got a ton of property on the river. Really nice. It's not far from Towanda, and said, hey, you guys come camp here, whatever you want to do. If you got people, he's got a boat ramp, river access, electricity. We'll get you taken care of. So shoot us an email, chasethewild@kayakadventureseries.com, or shoot me a DM. But you just never know if I'm going to check them or how. So that's why I say email might be better. But anyway, cool. Jake, what else you got? Anything, or is this pretty much it?
So we got a couple of hype videos. Did we want to watch those?
Oh, yeah.
Video. I think you had a clip you wanted to show.
I don't even know if I have anything pulled up, but I mean, you're talking about from our
stuff. I know you just wanted to kind of.
If you have one,
I do have one.
If you got one, show it.
Let's watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's hype this up with some small.
I'm pretty sure I don't talk in it, so I don't say anything bad. I just rendered it real quick. So. You could see how strong these fish are. It's ridiculous.
Oh, he's barely hooked.
I'm going to point something out too. When I catch this fish, I go over to the grass flat here to measure. Like a lot of people lose fish off the boards. Like there's a couple people talking about losing fish off the boards, but one safety thing I do on the river is I go over to like something like this, and then if it measures it, guess what? He's not swimming off in that stuff. Like he will eventually, but like, and you can tell I'm feeling rough because I'm looking rough because I'm feeling rough, but it happened.
18.5, you said?
Yeah, it was like 18.5. It was
Nice.
a good fish. Like, I mean, I'd take 5 of those any day of the week. So,
Absolutely. That was a good fish. So.
But I think it's a good point. The reason why I chose that clip is like going into the grass, measuring your fish, and obviously I'm at an advantage. The shoalie has that recess to keep your catch board, so if it flops, it's not getting out usually. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I've ever lost a fish out of the shoalie. I mean, fingers crossed. But going into that grass, if for whatever reason it flops off, like it's just gonna flop into the grass and you can grab it.
Yeah, exactly. Always left-hand bank is key.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people lost fish at Susky, and I'm just like, guys, like,
dang,
it blows my mind. It's like, don't let them flop off the board. So.
Dang, Travis, that sucks, man. Travis talking about losing a 19.75 off the board.
Well, you want to hear something even more painful? We heard about a guy who was fishing his first ever tournament ever. He caught two 21-inch smallmouth, and they both flopped off the board. And you're probably like, oh, it's a fish story. It literally happened in front of someone that we know. I think Steve Baker is the one who told us about it.
Yeah.
So
He did. I mean, he wasn't there to see the size, but obviously the guy told him. I mean,
no, he watched one of them do it. The second
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Which is wild. I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't know how
yeah.
you go on after that. So
I don't either. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if he if the guy had time to like get down there and the mouth was closed and the tail and it really was 21, or if he was just like saying like it was obviously over 20, I'm sure, but maybe it was exactly 21 and he had two of them that were exactly 21 and he lost them. But either way, it's giant fish. I'm not saying it. Obviously, it's a giant, so you don't want to lose any fish, especially not one of that caliber.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to break one off.
No,
speaking from experience,
I lost a couple like that, broke them off. So it was fun. It was fun. I'll be back. Hopefully they go back next year. I want that one bad, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any clips to pull up. Maybe eventually I'm gonna get around to looking at some of this footage and lamenting and just whatever, drowning in my sorrows. What could have been. But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have anything else. I mean, it's just the Susky. There's not anything else to say and do. It's just let's just go catch a ton of fish.
Get signed up too, because we've only got like 15 grab bags left. So like
yeah, there's not many gift bags.
And like the quicker you get signed up, lock it in, make sure that you're one of the ones that get that. Because I mean, we've heard so much good feedback about those bags, and like every bag is different. So if you fish multiple events and you're like, oh, I already got a bag, this one's gonna be different, guys. So, and we're talking to some partners that are really interesting for these bags. Like I think next year we're gonna try to make them even better. So
yeah, it's gonna be cool. So we'll keep growing it. You guys just keep coming to these things, and trust me, that gives us something to kind of like obviously pitch and sell. Like, hey, look, we're getting good attendance. Guys are loving the stuff. People appreciate your support as a sponsor, and because we are so appreciative, we always ask you guys and promote. If you're going to spend money on stuff, if it's a product that is made by any of our sponsors, let's look at those first. And all you guys are great and happy to do that. Obviously, if you think their product's inferior to a different brand, then of course go get the one you think's better. But I'm talking about, if you agree this is a cool product, it's a good product, let's choose our sponsors. And you guys have done a great job supporting. So, and don't forget, tag, no matter like your clip right there, Jake, you could have just posted that on Instagram and tag Kayak Adventure Series, at tag them and at GoPro. And GoPro's giving away a Hero 12 Black, actually the latest GoPro, which whatever that'll be when it gets announced, plus $1,000 to one person who tags Kayak Adventure Series and GoPro. And we'll go back and together they'll choose a winner, and it doesn't have to be an edit. It could be a cast to catch clip, just like that. So just a really cool one. So
yeah,
it doesn't have to be during a tournament. So
what's great about that clip is it was literally less than 10 minutes after I broke off that big one. So it's like, you gotta keep your mind right. There's more fish out there. There's a ton of fish in these rivers.
That's right. And just again, doesn't have to even be during a tournament. This just is anytime you're fishing, fun fishing out there, just tag them and tag us. Boom. And of course,
always have your GoPros running, guys.
Yeah. Always be recording. And the during a tournament, which we're doing now, biggest bass, not biggest bass of the event, just the biggest bass captured on GoPro that someone submits to us, that wins a Hero 12 Black at the event.
And we give away an epic edit for the event. So if you are, you fish the event, then after event, and you submit via the dropdown, we're giving away a GoPro for the epic edit, which I don't think we gave away a one.
Potentially, yeah. We have to have an epic edit. I mean, that's why we went ahead and we made a rule where we're going to give away it used to be we give away a GoPro Hero 12 for only if you get the big bass of the event captured on GoPro. But now we changed that to just the biggest one on GoPro. So epic edit we will definitely give a GoPro away for an epic edit, but it has to also meet the criteria. It has to be epic, man. So we still have those we potentially give some of those away, but we're definitely giving away a GoPro now at every event for the biggest bass, which wasn't for sure before. So as far as our stash goes, we will, you'll still be.
And Chad Davidson won that one. He recorded, I think he caught a 20 and a quarter on GoPro.
Yeah.
And I know there was like a few of you guys reached out to me after the fact saying, well, I caught a 21 and a quarter on GoPro or whatever. It's like, well, I mean, the reality is like you you got to submit it. Like, we don't know it exists unless you submit it. And Chad submitted it. He told us about it. He had it ready, the footage ready to go. He brought me the SD card. We pulled it. We played it during the thing. That's how you win the GoPro.
Yeah.
You gotta have the clip ready to go for awards. So
yeah, it's really not hard, right? You just go
it's easy.
Go to the website and you go to upload footage under media, or it's under 4 anglers as well. You can click upload footage and then boom, takes you to this footage upload. And look, all you have to do is put in your name, date, and an optional description. All you have to do is name and date. That's it. And then add file. And that's it. And then you can click yes if it's uploaded, if it's a participate in the Epic Edit Challenge, which is what you're talking about, Jake, an actual like edit from a previous event.
Which is not the same as the big bass catch.
Right. It's not single clips, but any clip you guys get from these events, any clip that's good, we want it sent here. Any of it. Doesn't matter when you do it, if it's a month afterwards or a few weeks afterwards, doesn't matter. We want it,
Yeah, I mean, just to put it in perspective, like, we had plenty of people just submit like clips that are just like them holding the fish. So like, here's a great example. Like, this is perfect. That was Tyler's big fish of the tournament.
Kayak Adventure Series.
Did win the big bass. It won the big bass bling.
You might be able to win this thing.
So
yeah, that was cool. I mean, if you can do it, horizontal or landscape, even better for the
right.
But that's not bad either. Like vertical.
Like, this is the clip right here. I know we showed this 2 weeks ago, but Chad caught a 20 and whatever, but he caught the whole thing and won a GoPro just because he was recording.
That's it. Yeah.
And was able to.
And it's got it. We do, I don't know if we need to clarify this or not, Jake, but we do on the Epic Edit originally when we talked about giving one away for the big bass, it was like, you need to be recording from behind. Like, I still think we should like stick to that, because you just don't see anything. If you're recording yourself, it's just you just reeling in the fish the whole time. There's no action. We're not getting, so you need to be recording from behind. If you're going to record at one camera at all, and that's it. Make sure it's behind you, like Chad just had his. Otherwise,
right. And
really
I don't think we've run into that problem yet. I think most people understand that, like, you actually have to record the catch. It can't just be like guy with fish.
Yeah,
like,
and you just
not what we want.
boat flipping it in, and all we see is like, okay, the fish flopped in the boat. Like, it's not as good, and it's not as good of a memory for you either. So it's like, why would you ever film if you're going to use one camera? Now, if that's your second camera, cool, because you got one in the back, and we still would have that clip. But if that's your second one, awesome. But if you're only recording with one, make sure it's behind you. So, all right, I think that's it as far as I got. I mean, I got nothing else really. It's just I'm ready to rock and roll and get over there and relax and float down a river with the kids and the fam, maybe a day myself. Just take it easy because I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Float around.
Yeah, just float. Maybe even just float. But how can I not cast? I can't help it. I'm sure I'll be casting if I'm out there in the water. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. What do we have? Any closing music or anything we play? What does Billy do? I know he had to bounce, but who knows?
He usually just does the outro, the same music, but I think we're fine without it.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary.
You are listening to Kayak